you, and welcome back for another whip check.
Good to be back.
Before we jump in, if you like what we do here, hitting that like button and subscribing really helps us out.
Definitely appreciate it.
So today, we're digging into the all-new 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ.
The big electric one. It's certainly making some noise.
It really is. We've gone through reviews from TheStraightPipes, Top Gear, Redline Reviews, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And the idea here isn't just another review, right? We're pulling out the really interesting bits, the key takeaways about this electric caddy for you.
Exactly. Cutting through the noise to get to the core stuff. So where do we start? The sheer size.
Yeah, that seems unavoidable. Every review mentions it. Top Gear called it obscenely massive.
They did. Everything about it. Mirrors, wheels. It's just huge. It feels very intentional, sticking to that Escalade presence.
Right, playing to their base, maybe? But it's not just big. The look itself seems, well, a bit debated.
Yeah. Yuri from TheStraightPipes. He liked the all-black version, but the two-tone. He felt it looked too much like the Celestiq. Maybe lost some of that Escalade feel.
Interesting. Redline Reviews liked that flare metallic color, though. Said it popped.
True. But the rear-end design seems to be a common point.
Yeah, both TheStraightPipes and Redline felt it was a big departure. More sloped, like the other IQ models.
Less boxy, less traditional Escalade.
Exactly. But the front, that's pure EV, right?
Oh yeah, no traditional grille needed, so you get that illuminated LED panel instead.
A very distinct look. Redline and Top Gear both highlighted that.
And you can't miss those wheels. 24 inches, standard.
Huge. Definitely adds to the imposing nature Top Gear mentioned.
And there are different looks too, right? Sport versus luxury.
Yeah, blacked out trim versus chrome. All the reviews pointed that out. Subtle differences.
Okay, so speaking of features, we have to talk about the crab walk.
Or arrival mode, as Cadillac insists on calling it.
Right, arrival mode,
Yeah.
where the back wheels turn, what, up to 7 degrees or so?
Something like that, yeah. Allows that diagonal movement. It was in every single review. Big talking point.
So what was the verdict? Cool trick or actually useful?
Well, Yuri seemed to think it was mostly a party trick.
Ah,
He even said he almost clipped cars in parking lots trying it out. Felt a bit weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Top Gear framed it more as a parking aid, potentially.
And Redline confirmed it's basically the same system from the Hummer EV.
Right, part of GM's electric toolbox.
But you have to be stopped to turn it on, right? And it only works at low speeds.
Yeah, the TheStraightPipes mentioned that. You wouldn't want that engaging accidentally at speed.
No kidding. So maybe more flash than function for everyday driving.
Could be. It's definitely eye-catching tech, though.
Yeah.
And speaking of tech, under the skin, it's that Ultium platform.
GM's big EV architecture. Same as the Hummer.
Exactly. Allows for flexibility, different sizes, and this massive battery.
How big are we talking?
205 kilowatt, double stacked. Top Gear and Redline said it weighs over 1.3 tons just for the battery.
Wow. Just the battery.
Yeah. But it powers a dual-motor, all-wheel drive system.
And the power figures are pretty serious, too.
They are. Standard mode gets you, what, 680 horsepower? 615 pound-feet of torque.
Something like that. But then there's VMAX mode.
Right. Unleashes the beast. 750 horsepower, 785 pound-feet. TheStraightPipes and Redline both quoted those numbers.
So even though it's huge and heavy, it moves.
Oh, yeah. 0 to 60 around 4.7 seconds, give or take.
Top Gear and Redline timed it around there. Redline got just over 5 seconds, but said it was wet, so fair enough.
Still quick for something this size. And it can tow 8,000 pounds.
Which is respectable, keeps some of that SUV utility.
And maybe the most impressive number, given the size and power, the range.
Right, around 460 miles estimated. All three sources seem to agree on that ballpark.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Makes it usable for longer trips.
Definitely. And it has regen braking, one-pedal driving options, the usual EV stuff.
Although Yuri did mention some temporary glitches with the regen system in his test drive.
Okay. Something to keep an eye on. Now let's step inside because, wow.
The screen.
This screen, that 55-inch panoramic display, it's unavoidable. All the reviews just focused on it immediately.
It really dominates the dashboard. But the big tech story inside might be what's not there.
You mean Apple CarPlay and Android Auto?
Exactly. Cadillac's gone all in on the built-in Google Automotive system.
And that seemed controversial. Yuri, again, really didn't like it.
Yeah, he found it difficult to use, apparently. Even for basic things like messaging. Said it wasn't intuitive compared to CarPlay.
That's a bold move for Cadillac, ditching systems people are so used to.
It is. They're betting big on their own integrated experience. Could be a friction point for some buyers.
Though there is that separate screen for the passenger, right? With privacy features.
Yeah, Top Gear and Redline mentioned that, so the passenger can do their thing without distracting the driver.
And below the main screen, there's another smaller one.
Uh-huh. For climate, vehicle settings.
Yeah.
Standard stuff, just on a screen.
Okay. What about the rest of the cabin luxury? That executive second row package sounds fancy.
It does. Reclining seats, massage, command center screen. Very plush.
But it messes up getting to the third row, doesn't it?
That's the trade-off, yeah. The TheStraightPipes and others noted that. Makes it more of a four-seater experience.
Right. And those power doors, the ones that open and close themselves.
Available on higher trims. Cool factor is high, definitely.
But maybe a bit gimmicky. Or slow sometimes.
Some reviewers, like Top Gear or TheStraightPipes, found them a bit cumbersome in certain situations. Cool, but maybe not always practical.
Okay. How about actual practicality? Storage.
Well, the front trunk is pretty substantial, 12 cubic feet.
Enough for golf bags, apparently. That was a common point.
Yeah, 2 sets, they said.
Mm.
So useful space up front, and there's that standard panoramic glass roof.
Nice for light, but some noted there's no shade.
Right, the TheStraightPipes and Redline pointed that out. Could get warm in summer.
Good point. What about sound?
Oh, the AKG system got rave reviews. Up to 40 speakers. The TheStraightPipes and Redline were impressed.
40 speakers. Wow. And driver assist. Super Cruise is standard.
Yep, GM's hands-free driving assist. That's a big plus.
Although Yuri mentioned the head-up display was blurry in his test car.
And he also criticized the 360 camera resolution. Said it was surprisingly low res.
Really? For a $130K plus vehicle? That seems like an oversight.
Yeah, little details like that can stand out at this price point.
Speaking of space again, how's the third row for actual people?
In the standard wheelbase.
Mm-hmm.
A bit tight, according to the TheStraightPipes and Redline. More for occasional use or kids?
But there's an extended IQL version coming, right?
Yeah.
That should help.
Presumably, yeah. Job for more legroom back there.
Hmm.
Yuri also flagged a potential issue with child seats.
Oh, what was that?
The second row headrests aren't removable, apparently. Could make fitting some seats tricky.
Ah, okay. Good practical point. But cargo space behind the seats is still good?
Seems like it. Redline said it's comparable to the gas Escalade. Lots of room, especially with seats folded, so it still hauls stuff.
Okay, good. So the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
The price?
Yeah, it's not cheap. Redline mentioned a starting point around $127,000 US.
And the loaded ones go way higher, I assume?
Oh, for sure. Easily pushing past $150K, maybe more, with options like that executive second row.
How does that stack up? Redline compared it to the gas Escalades.
They did. Interestingly, they suggested the performance is actually close to the Escalade V, the high-performance gas model.
Really? So similar acceleration to the V, but electric.
Potentially, yeah. And maybe even at a slightly lower price point than a fully loaded V. Plus, you get the EV benefits. It's an interesting value comparison.
Okay, so wrapping up this whip check, the Escalade IQ. It's undeniably massive, packed with tech, very powerful, a huge statement from Cadillac.
Definitely a shift. You get the crab walk, that giant screen, impressive range, strong performance.
But there are caveats, right? The standard third row is tight, no CarPlay Android Auto could be a deal breaker for some.
And maybe some tech quirks like the camera resolution or those power doors.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Thinking about this blend of extreme size, luxury, electric power. Is this the future for the big American luxury SUV?
Or is it kind of over the top?
Yeah.
Pushing boundaries may be a bit too far past practical needs. It's a fascinating question.
Yeah, what about you listening? What aspects would sway you the most if you were looking at something like this? The tech, the sheer presence, the electric range.
Lots to think about there.
Absolutely. Well, that's our whip check on the 2025 Cadillac Escalade IQ. Hope you found it useful.
Yeah, I hope so.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want more of these focused looks at interesting new vehicles. We'll catch you on the next one.